Hi, this is Kanika Chadda Gupta, television journalist, founder, and podcast host of That's Total Mom Sense.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claire Goss, the Senior Manager in the Education Department at Bright Horizons, and this is
Play Matters with Bright Horizons. On this weekly segment, we're double-clicking on the importance of play and how it's not just a pastime, it's crucial to learning for young children.
I'm here to clear up your misconceptions about play and learning. We're going to talk about the benefits of play, the different types of play, how to encourage play even when your child says, I'm bored.
So grab a notebook, the Notes app on your phone, or take some mental notes on today's takeaways and share them with your friends. Listen in because play matters. In this installment, we'll be discussing tips for parents on encouraging play. According to Common Sense Media, kids 0 to 8 spend an average of 2 hours and 19 minutes on screens, their phones, tablets, and TV. Kids 8 through 12 spend about 4.5 hours or more. Now, when I was a kid, my parents would say, come home before dark, and my friends and I in the neighborhood and my sister, we'd play outside for hours. Foursquare, double dutch, catching fireflies, and going on a scavenger hunt at a lake nearby. Now, as parents of this new generation who are native to screens, we're competing with screen time because it's just readily accessible. How can we motivate kids to just get up and play outside?
The first thing I can say, if you know in your gut as a parent that your child's probably spending more time on screens than they should or than you would like, I would encourage you to kind of stand back maybe for a couple days or a week and really reflect on your child's daily schedule. Is there time for play? You can even go so far as to keep a notes app on your phone and just write down like, okay, this is what I've noticed my kid is doing every day during their quote unquote free time. I would encourage you to think about your environment at home, especially with young kids. Do you have open-ended materials? That's really what I recommend you having. Open-ended materials are toys or items in your home that can serve more than one purpose. They can be more than one thing, right? So materials like blocks, art supplies, there's not just one way to play with them. Is it a yes environment? So a yes environment is maybe it's a room or a space in your home where your child can really just play. They don't have to worry about breaking something. They don't have to worry about that's off limits. Don't touch that. Is it just a space or area where they can do any kind of a play, activity, or experience, and they know that nothing's off limits? Finally, I really am a huge fan of going outside, right? Outdoor play has all the benefits of play that we've been talking about and then some, because there's all these wonderful sensory opportunities. There's mental health benefits. It's just really, we just know this as parents, right? It's really great for our kids to be outside in the fresh air. So protect that and make sure there's ample time for outdoor play.
And I think as parents, we can model this. We need to get outside. We do a family walk, something that we're really enjoying over the summer. It's so lovely to see the kids pick up caterpillars and point at things along the way, and it's fun. Or stop to climb a tree, and you can recreate that pretty easily, no matter where you are. Just family walks are really fun. Getting outside and playing with them, with their sports and at the park. What do you advise parents to tell kids when they say, I'm bored?
Feeling bored is that it's just a feeling. Okay. Your kids have all kinds of feelings about all sorts of things it's just a feeling, and it's going to come and it's going to go. Okay. So it's a normal feeling. It's a natural occurrence for all humans to feel bored sometimes. It's not your job as a parent to prevent your child from ever feeling bored. That doesn't make you a bad parent if your child feels bored. It's not damaging, right? Our number one responsibility as parents is to keep our kids healthy and safe. And boredom is not a dangerous or destructive feeling. It's just a feeling that's going to come and go. So boredom can actually help your child become who they are, right? That's how kids figure out what they do like and what they don't like, what their preferences are, right? So it means you're basically nudging your child to be kind of creative, use some critical thinking skills. What do you want to do next, right? If you've got younger kids, they're probably going to need some help coming up with a list of things they can do when they're bored. But if you've got school-aged kids and older, they're old enough to come up with their own ideas. So I'm going to challenge you to challenge them to be creative and think of some ideas for things they can do when they're bored.
I love that. And we definitely do this at our home because we want our kids to have the autonomy and the agency to decide what they like to do with their time. And this is an example of my son's list. It says things to do on the weekend. and on it, it has Legos, snap circuits, watch a movie, play Catan Junior, play sports outside, eat. So there's different things on here that he can refer to. And we have a version of this for our road trips too, because I mean, it's so mind-numbing when we hear, "Are we there yet?" And if you're on a long, long ride, it's like, "Oh man, we have to come up with things to do." So it's like bring the books, bring the crayons. There can be some screen time in there, but let's have options. And I think when you give your kids independence to choose what they like to do, they feel really empowered by that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I encourage you to just introduce as many open-ended materials in your home as possible, because if you think about something like wooden blocks, or even like, I'm a fan of going to the recycling bin. Get out some cardboard boxes, get out some cartons. A cardboard box is so many different things. It can be a spaceship, it can be a race car, it can be a house, it can be a sled. I mean, it can be anything. And those are the things that light up that creativity and all that good learning that we've been talking about for weeks.
I want to come back to my point about how adults need to engage in play too. And this is just for ourselves and our own mental health. When my youngest son was starting kindergarten, he was really just lamenting the fact that the room looked different. There's desks, and it wasn't like his daycare center was. And he said, "I don't want to grow up. Grown-ups don't play." And my heart just sank when I heard that. So what advice do you have for parents on how to get in on the fun and engage with play with their kids, no matter what their comfort level is?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I do think that there are some adults who haven't prioritized play, and now they have a young child and all that child wants to do is play with you, right? So you might not feel super comfortable. So I would advise you to just lean into those open-ended materials, because they offer a lot of different opportunities. Another strategy we use at Bright Horizons a lot to make play more engaging and interesting is to use open-ended questions, right? So what do you think would happen if? So if your child's building blocks and you're like, oof, I don't like remember how to do this, I'm feeling awkward, get down on the floor with your child, watch them play, let them take the lead for a few moments, and then say, what do you think would happen if we did this? Or why did you make that choice? Right? Just engage with them a little bit and see what happens. Give your child the chance to make mistakes, to be a scientist, to experiment, but really lean into that messy play. I know it's hard for some adults to embrace the messy play, but it really is sometimes the most fun type of play. So if you can get in on the mess with your child, right? Go make a mud pie with them. Get your fingers in some finger paints, right? Knock that block tower over with them. It can be really fun. Another tip for making play more fun for you as an adult is really just to focus on the process and not the product of the play. So if your child and you and your child are collaborating on a block tower, and your child wants to try something and you know it's going to fail, right? And you had this idea of how you wanted the block tower to look. You got to let go of that. It's all about the process, not the end product. Same thing with art experiences or anything else. You're building a stick fort in the backyard. And it's really easy for us to project manage that as adults, because again, we've had decades of practice and we already learned how to do this. To take a pause, take a deep breath, let go of perfection, let them be the leader of the play, because if they're leading the play, they're also leading the learning.
And now on to our press play segment. What is your number one takeaway for parents and caregivers on how to encourage play?
I would advise parents to really just try to keep it simple. Okay. Don't overthink it too much. You don't have to be your child's cruise director. You don't have every single second of their day scheduled. Lean into those open-ended materials. Give your child the chance to be bored and give them the chance to play.
That's wonderful. Thank you for making this series so special and informative for us. You can always go back and listen to these bite-sized deep dives on that'stotalmomsense.com. We will see you soon. We hope you enjoyed this week's Play Matters with Bright Horizons segment. To find a center near you, get access to free parenting resources from experts, and tune in to one of my favorite shows, the Bright Horizons Parenting Podcast, Teach, Play, Love, visit brighthorizons.com.